Welcome back to the Owl Arcade. Yes, that's right, people. We finally got our hands on a Ms. Pac-Man. This was a local pickup. It was a really good price. I'll show you around it because it's a bit of a basket case, really, and is needing some work. The leg levelers I've already gone and replaced because the old ones were rusty, crusty, busted up and scratching up my floor. That was a quick and easy replacement. Those are Teflon ones that I had sitting around, so that was a pretty quick and easy fix. The artwork is not too bad. It's got the usual colour fade. It's been touched up in places, I think, owing to the fact that there's a little bit of blue paint in places where it shouldn't be, like here on the T-moulding. That shouldn't be there. And this side's pretty much the same. Artwork is intact. Again, I think it's been touched up in places. We've got some damage on the side here. It looks like they had some tape on there. I'm guessing that that was something like duct tape, because it's really taken the paint off. This is not residue. It's literally pulled the paint off of the side of the cabinet here, which is a bit of a shame. What else is up with this thing? It's obviously missing the coin door. That's absent. And some cheeky monkey had drilled a hole for a flipping coin up button as well. Oh, that aggravates me. Despite the heinous crimes of butchery on the front here, the artwork itself isn't in too bad a shape. There's Ms. Pac-Man down there with her little ghosty followers. And she's looking a little weathered. She could probably use a spa day, I think. These, of course, are not factory on a Ms. Pac-Man, no. They've fitted brackets to the inside on either side for this also very much not factory control panel. Ms. Pac-Man, of course, no buttons needed. Certainly was not a trackball game. The back panel also weathered, as one might expect. Some evidence of tomfoolery here with fasteners to hold this panel in place, which is pretty common. What is interesting is they've broken the key off in the lock. So in fact, the lock does turn. So what we might be able to do is extract this piece of key out of here and then see if we've got something that'll fit. Might be able to salvage that. Ah, okay, so in here we've got, oh, that's a bit tight, come here, yeah. Well, that's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? This is the instruction book for the game board that's in this machine, so yeah, you've guessed it. Look what we've got here. This is an iCade 60-in-1 board. These boards are okay, I guess. The emulation on some of the games is not great. So we have a replacement harness in here. This looks like this is a standard jammer harness that they've thrown in there. Unfortunately, that also means that they've butchered the wiring on the power block. So some of the wiring that should be on here is absent. We've got wires just chopped off on the ends of these fuses. So a lot of the original wiring's missing as well. For some weird reason, they kept the interlock switch. But it's good to see we've got brackets, right? We've got mounting brackets in here still for the CRT, mounting brackets for the game board, what would have been the original game board on the left side there. Definitely an original Ms. Pac-Man cabinet we have here, which is what I was after, all the way from Frau Heiger Amusements from Goshen, Indiana. Thank you, Frau Heiger. I'm hoping it wasn't you that did these horrid things to poor Ms. Pac-Man, but somebody did, and I'm annoyed about it, so I'm going to fix it. So some sad, nasty, horrible things that people have done to this cabinet, notwithstanding this vile creature. This will be fired from a cannon into the sun, and we are going to fill the hole once again with a glorious CRT. I believe Ms. Pac-Man would have been fitted with something like a G07. I'm throwing together something that is appropriate at the moment from the bunch of arcade monitors that I picked up here recently. If you've not seen that video, please take a look. You'll see what I'm dealing with there. Speaking of which, why don't we move upstairs and take a look? Welcome to my temporary winter workshop. This is the CRT that we're looking at using from Ms. Pac-Man. Yes, it's got some pretty nasty burn on there, but as you can see, this was originally in a Pac-Man. So I think we can get away with putting this into our Ms. Pac-Man machine. I've had to, like I say, cobble this together. It was originally in that frame, which is a cocktail frame, which won't work for our upright cabinet. So I did a frame swap. I've stolen some mounting bars, because obviously this needs to go in the vertical orientation, and the way the rails are in the cabinet, I need to fit these bars to it so that I can fit that onto the rails. So I've stolen those from a different monitor that I have out in the garage. This has been given a really good clean, and the chassis right here is a G07 CB0. I've been through this. It wasn't quite working. I couldn't get it to sync properly. It was producing an image, but not a great one. So I've gone through and done the usual cap kit and everything. New horizontal width coil, that was all busted up. I've done the little fuse mod here, so this fuse has now got a fuse holder, so we can switch that out if necessary in the future. Replaced the pots, all of the adjustment pots, the B plus pot as well. I've done the curl mod. What else have we done? We've done the pots on the neck board. All of the pots on the neck board. We've done the cap as well, of course, with the cap kit. We've cleaned all of this up. This was horrible. This chassis was just really disgustingly dirty. I did have to get a bit creative on the underside here. Got some burnt and missing traces, so I just used the legs of the capacitor to bridge those traces. There's just one more thing I want to do on here. These are not crimped well at all. So I'm going to quickly crimp some new connectors on there. There we have our new textbook crimps on there. So let's get these back in the connector, and then we should be good to throw this back on the frame of our tube. Actually, before we do that, well, what I really wanted to do was just throw my rejuvenator on this tube, which I tried to do, but there's clearly something wrong with my rejuvenator because it was showing basically no health in any of the three guns. And clearly that's not the case, because this is actually a pretty decent image we're getting here. Let me just run through the test patterns real quick. There's a black and white checkerboard. What's coming across on the video as I look at it, more so than you can actually see in real life, is some of the burn-in that we've got down here as well. It's not as noticeable by the eye. For some reason the video is really picking that out. Let's have a look at the color bars. Again, this is actually really nice looking, besides the obvious burn-in in real life. Red, green, blue. So guns aren't too bad. I don't know what this is here that's showing on the video. I can't see that with the naked eye. So maybe that's just a gousing issue. We can fix that with a degousing coil. Or maybe we don't need to do anything at all, because, like I say, I can't see it. So there we go. Not too shabby. Let's get the rails put on this thing, and let's get it mounted up into the cab. Ta-da! Would you look at that? CRT is in. Let's have a little look what I've been doing around the back. So, of course, the video connector off of the iCade 60-in-1 board is not the right kind of connector for a G07. I get a negative sync out of the iCade board. It's a negative composite sync, so I'd have to join the two sync pins on the negative sync of the G07 to that one pin anyway. So here's what I've done. Yep, I'm the master of jankiness. I popped the pins out of the connector, and then I've used the cables from my TPG and kind of just shoved them in the back there. You can see what I've done here with the sync connector. I've shoved the one sync line in the back there, and then jumpered at the front with a, that was a leg of a capacitor, I think. So we're all connected up, including the monitor, which of course, because of all of the gubbins being cut out of here, my isolation transformer is not connected up, so I can't plug it in to the chassis. So I'm running my isolation transformer separately. So I've plugged the cabinet and the portable ISO transformer into the wall separately. One of the other things I've had to do is adjust the dip switches on the iCade board, which are just over there. This was previously connected up to that horrible LCD via VGA connection at 30 Hertz. So I've had to flick switch number 2 back to 15 Hertz CGA. And I've also, while I was at it, flicked on dip number 4, which is test mode. So what we should find is if we fire this all up, we actually get test mode on our CRT. So here's what we're going to do. We are all plugged in. I'm going to essentially turn the cabinet on. It's a good sign, green light. We're going to turn the monitor on. We've got high voltage. So let's have a look what we've got around the front. Wait for it. Hey! There we go. Look at that. We've got a test pattern. Needs a little bit of adjustment. We're getting a little bit of curl at the top. So need to adjust one of the pots on the chassis to get rid of that. Just wanted to show you some finishing touches I've made to the monitor here. We've got a plastic shroud. I had a spare one of these hanging around. Also, piece of smoked plexi and clips. The smoked plexi helps to reduce the appearance of the burn-in. Again, you can see the burn-in more clearly on the video than I can see. I can really only see a little bit here. I can see a little bit up here and a little bit here. It's coming across more strongly on the video than it is in real life, but the smoke plexi just helps subdue that a little bit. Now, these screws for these clips go through metal brackets, one on the left and one on the right, which again I stole from another monitor in my collection. And you just back off these screws, they kind of slide in. They've got a kind of keyway on there, and then you tighten that back down, and these two side brackets here are what you screw this shroud and plexi down on top of. So we are complete. Let's get the bezel back in and get this button back down again. Here we are. I've adjusted the camera a little bit. This shuttering issue should go away here shortly when we start playing the game. I really can't get a good capture of a CRT on this camera for some reason. I've done my best, but it just doesn't look as good on camera as it does in real life. The colors are gorgeous on this thing. You really can't notice the burn-in. Let's jump straight in to a game of Ms. Pac-Man. So it coins up for us automatically. And I'm going to do my very best to talk and play at the same time. First thing you'll notice is Ms. Pac-Man's speed. Yep, she is speeding away. This is the fast version of Ms. Pac-Man. You can select between fast and normal in the iCade menu for this game. And the reason I'm playing it on fast is because that is actually the game of the week in the Overtime Arcade members only Discord forum weekly challenge, as chosen actually by me. Very selfishly, knowing that I was working on this project and wanted a little bit of extra reason to get this CRT switched out and get this game running so that I could do my best playing in the weekly competition. The technique that I've got here to maximize points, of course, because that's what counts in the weekly Overtime Arcade members only Discord forum weekly tournament, is highest score. So we are trying to collect up, there we go, all 4 ghosts every time we pick up one of the power pills, so that we can get max score for this round, which is 14,600. And we're going to try that same technique every time. I really don't have a preferred technique of clearing this board. In fact, I'm not that great at Ms. Pac-Man, to be fair. but this is the technique that I've got. So this is the technique we shall use, as well as obviously collecting the fruit, because that is additional pointage for you. I'm not so sure I'm going to get these 4. Extra life, just snuck in there. There we go. Let's wait for them to accumulate. Oh, that was nice. Oh no. Sneaky. Oh, you're gonna have to be faster than that. Come on. Aye. Oh, there we go. Get the fruit. Finish off the dots and get to the next game board. Nice. It's Act 1. They meet. And there's the cameo of Mr. Pac-Man? I don't know. Sorry that looks a little bit washed out and blurry for you. Again, best I could do with the camera. Oh, there we go. I think that was an orange, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, come on, stop. There we go. Thought we might try and go down there. I'm just going to let them mingle a little bit as we clear off some dots. Get ourselves some fruit. Come on, down you come. Not ideal. Just other two a little bit too far away for me to get all 4. That's a bit of a shame. And that guy had me cornered there, forced me into picking up the power pill. But 4 ghosts is what we got. Oh, get away from there. Okay. 2, 3. I'm going to have to go around the other side, aren't I? Oh no. Oh, cheeky. Well, I messed that one up, unfortunately. Alright, I'm not going to torture you by having you watch this amateur attempt to get a high score on this Pac-Man, so I am going to leave it there. Well, that is it for part 1 of our Miss Pac-Man series of restoration videos. We've achieved what we set out to. We've replaced that horrible LCD with a nicely refurbished, cobbled together, bright, vibrant, colourful G07 CRT, just like the original would have had. And in part 2, we'll move on to some of the other hardware, like the control panel, the coin door, the internals, the harness, the game board, and we'll get this thing finished up and as original as we can make it. As I mentioned, this is a part series format for this particular restoration. Trying to make the videos a little bit more accessible, 15-20 minute chunks, rather than an hour-long slog that you've got to sit through. If you like that format better, then please do let me know in the comments. Any other feedback, stick it right down there in the comments. If you haven't already done so, please do like the video. And if there's anyone that you know that you think might enjoy watching this restoration series of videos, then please do share it with them. Thank you ever so much for watching part 1. I hope to see you again in part 2. Love you, bye.